So Brian, let's talk about hypersonic flight. We've just seen a fantastic presentation from Reaction Engines, one of your investments. So this is a priority, something that Boeing thinks it can achieve in the not too distant future.
Yeah. Hypersonics are a big bullish passion of our CEO. If you think about the spectrum of future mobility solutions from flying taxis to commercial airlines as they go today to maybe supersonic, hypersonic sort of reaches that ultimate technology push of getting to Mach 5 and beyond, really breaking down the sort of time barrier of long distance travel and getting to places efficiently. It's a huge technical challenge, and we're piece by piece starting to invest in companies that we think will help get us there. And Reaction Engines is one of the biggest unlocks to achieving that, a cost-effective, technology-efficient propulsion engine that can also manage the enormous heat generation that's built up. So we're a big fan. Our CEO wants Boeing to be the leader in hypersonic transportation at a commercial service. So think Concorde of hypersonic transportation. There's even been some unveilings of concept drawings and everything, but we can't do it alone, right? And so it's investing in key technology components that'll help get us there, and Reactions was a huge piece.
So that's not really a bad summary of your venturing strategy. It's looking for the piece by piece investments required to make a hypersonic flight a reality.
Yeah.
But what else? What are the other missing pieces that you're looking to venture in?
Well, there's so much transformation that's going to happen in transportation, and you dub it transportation 4.0 or whatever. There's so many components beyond how we move at sort of an aerospace level today. Getting in a steel tube with wings attached is going to seem archaic, right? And so how do we have new forms of transportation that Boeing as a leading aerospace provider should be a part of, right? We shouldn't cede that to other providers. We should bring the expertise that comes from knowing a regulatory environment, knowing safety and technology hurdles of moving people short and long distances efficiently and reliably. And so we want to invest in platforms that bring people together in new ways, shapes, or form, but it's not just going to be about the aerodynamics. It's going to be about the autonomy. It's going to be about pilot training and simulation. It's going to be about the electrification of aircraft, because we can't just think about things from a fossil fuel, Jet A kind of traditional sense of energy. So the battery technology that will be a key unlock to the electrification of aircraft in short distances first, but then growing. And there's a huge infrastructure transformation that happens around that. You have airports optimized around fuel and hub and spoke systems today. How do you unlock regional airports, rooftops, and have charging capabilities? It's tough enough now to find a supercharger for your Tesla, but thinking about how you're going to have quick charging for flying taxis in the future are all sort of issues that we have to pay attention to.
And how are you investing in that opportunity, flying cars, flying taxis?
So we're thinking again about it in the sense of what are the key technology unlocks. There's a ton of companies that are thinking about platforms, 165 platforms around electrification of aircraft. It's probably too early to place a whole lot of bets there. We've dabbled in and at least speculated on ones that we think have better sort of technology approaches to it, but again, it's still more about, okay, you can design a lot of platforms around the technology, but the technology underneath the skin is going to be the most critical. So autonomy, with near-Earth autonomy, they're the ones that are going to make a pilotless and fully autonomous airborne vehicle a reality. And so, when things don't go to plan, when you have an obstructed landing zone, when you need to divert around something that you didn't plan to have in your flight path, they're going to be building a solution that'll do that. Energy systems I talked about in the batteries with Kuberg, having a detect and avoid capability. So if you're flying and all of a sudden a bird gets in your way, or another air vehicle that you didn't expect, or some hobbyist drone got in your space, how do you have the radar capability to sense that quickly and do some decisions? That's Fordham Technologies. So a variety of areas we're looking.
So HorizonX Ventures, you're now, 2 years old about?
2 years and 1 month.
And you've got about, 20 companies in your portfolio?
20 that are public. We're actually over 30 or so now.
So that's How much is that? Almost a deal a month?
More than a deal a month that we're doing.
Okay. You've introduced a couple of your British portfolio companies.
Yep.
Good to see you investing over here.
Yes.
But you're investing globally.
Yes.
Most of your portfolio, I'd imagine, is in the US.
Still
but
U.S. Given the technology a focus, it seems, to a lot of the companies, even if they had some roots abroad, they start gravitating to the U.S. just to scale and build. But we're keeping our eyes and ears open to the full global landscape, from Asia to Europe, Middle East, and we've been pleased with a lot of the technology we've seen come from anywhere.
And looking ahead, no plans to slow down, still plenty of investments to make?
Still plenty of investments to make. We're really, our pace is driven by, frankly, how much the team can absorb. And we want to make sure that we're good strategic investors. We want to deliver on our commitment of bringing value beyond just the check. And so when we reach this saturation point where we feel like we're not meeting those commitments, that could throttle us a little bit unless we keep scaling the team, which we're inclined to do as well. But we certainly want to make sure we're not disadvantaging our portfolio by investing and then just ignoring.
So who are you co-investing with? Who is your kind of co-investment network?
Yeah, it's a broad mix. We actually, when it comes to aerospace, there's a few logical partners that see the world the same way, but we're not repeatedly investing with anyone, which is kind of a shame, and we want to improve on that. Oftentimes, we're getting in on some of the first rounds, we're leading deals, kind of bringing that validation and confidence to the table, and then trying to drive some follow-on investments from new partners. But we've invested with the likes of GE. We've explored opportunities with Intel and some of the others that think about mobility pretty broadly in the future, and we're open to investing with. We're not a closed off, like it only has to be Boeing and nobody else. We want to hoard them to ourselves. We see a ton of value, but actually, some of the automotives have been interested in co-investing with us because they could see the technology applied to their space as well. Energy and the BPs of the world, or the Shells, the Schlumbergers see some co-investment opportunity. So yeah, it's a broad mix.
Good. And how easy has it been to establish a venture culture in Boeing and to get Boeing, the business units, to value you?
It was the hardest in the early days, but I won't lie and say that it's a slam dunk. Even now, 2 years in, we constantly need to prove our worth, show that we're being prudent users of Boeing capital, especially when it could be going to other places, and particularly in tough times. You really want to make sure articulating the value, and I think it's a testament to the relationships that we've built with the business units now, where our activity isn't viewed as a threat or somehow counter to the progress they want to make as a business. We're actually viewed as an enabler. We're trying to strengthen the core. We're not trying to take away from the core. And that's been a big, I think, sort of mindset shift that the business units have started to see now, based on the proof points of the investments, the technology progress, and how that can actually be inserted into the core mission. And so we have a number of real positive proof of concept developments with our companies, some commercial agreements that have now grown into even something more strategic with the business units, where it's like, wow, our job has been done, that relationship has been built, and they're driving good things, business unit to portfolio company now, without us even needing to kind of push it along.
Brian, thank you very much. Look forward to hearing news of more investments of yours. Thank you very much for coming to London and for your time.
Love being here. Thanks for everything you do for us, Tom.